Today, we're diving into an idea that is genuinely mind-bending. The reality you experience every single moment, it's not the world as it truly is. Instead, it's a carefully crafted story, a compelling narrative told to you by your very own brain. To really get this, we're going to start with a little experiment. And just a heads up, what you're about to see is going to challenge what you think of as reality. You ready? Okay, here's what I want you to do. See that small black dot on the left side of your screen? Fix your gaze right on it. Don't look away. Now, just using your peripheral vision, pay attention to that blurry object on the right. Which way is it moving? Does it seem to be drifting diagonally, kind of from the top right down to the bottom left? It's pretty convincing, isn't it? Except it's not moving diagonally at all. Go ahead, trace its path on the screen with your finger. You'll see it's moving in a perfectly straight vertical line. What's absolutely wild is that even when you know the truth, the moment you look back at that dot, the illusion just snaps right back into place. Your perception is actively disagreeing with reality. This isn't just a fun little party trick. This illusion, it's called the double drift, and it actually reveals a fundamental truth about our perception. So what's the secret here? How can our brains be so confidently wrong? Well, this quote from neuroscientist Patrick Kavanagh, who actually helped design that illusion, gets right to the heart of it. Our perception isn't a passive window looking out at the world. It's an active construction. It's a story, and our brain is the storyteller. So let's explore how this process actually works. Because this isn't a flaw in our wiring, it's a feature. Your brain operates as this incredibly sophisticated prediction machine, and in a way, it's constantly hallucinating your world into existence. This idea turns our common sense completely on its head. Neuroscientist Anil Seth explains that we don't just passively receive information. Our experience is generated from the inside out. Your brain is constantly making its best guess, a prediction about the world, and only then does it use your senses to check and refine that guess. This brings us to a pretty dramatic concept: controlled hallucination. It sounds like science fiction, but it's exactly what's happening right now. Your brain is generating its best guess of reality, and the light hitting your retina isn't creating the image from scratch. It's just keeping that hallucination tethered to the world. And why on earth would our brains do this? Well, evolution doesn't really care about philosophical truth. It cares about survival. The brain's goal isn't to create a perfectly accurate picture of reality. It's to create a useful one, a version that helps us dodge a predator, catch a ball, and just navigate a really complex world efficiently. Okay, so that's the theory. But what's the actual, concrete evidence that our brains are predicting what's happening rather than just reacting to it? Here's the big problem your brain has to solve. It's not living in the present. Your senses are slow. There's a significant delay between an event happening out there in the world and your brain actually processing it. If you only relied on this lagged data, you'd be functionally living in the past. For vision, that delay is about 100 milliseconds. It might not sound like a lot, but in that time, a fastball has traveled over 12 feet. So to catch it, or to just swat a fly, your brain has to predict where the object will be when you finally act. The story it tells you is always about the very near future, not the past. And this brings us right back to our first illusion. fMRI studies show that your visual cortex, it actually sees the correct vertical motion. But then, your frontal lobes, the brain's executive suite, they step in and override that data. They literally invent a more plausible story of diagonal motion. So you never experience the raw data, only the final edited story. And this predictive storytelling isn't just for motion. It applies to something as fundamental as color. You remember this, right? The dress that broke the entire internet in 2015? People were passionately arguing over its color because their brains were telling them two completely different stories about it. So why the difference? There's a fascinating theory that links it to your life experience. See, your brain has to guess the lighting conditions to figure out an object's true color. Larks, or early risers, get exposed to a lot more bluish daylight, so their brains might subtract that blue light from the image, revealing white and gold. But night owls, who are more used to yellowish artificial light, their brains might subtract yellow, revealing blue and black. Your personal history literally changes the colors you perceive. Okay, this takes us to an even deeper place. If our perception of the outside world is a controlled hallucination, what does that say about our perception of our inner world, of our very sense of self? This idea suggests that you aren't a little captain sitting inside your skull pulling the levers. The self is also a perception, a bundle of experiences, memories, and feelings, all woven into another one of the brain's useful stories. The tragic case of Clive Waring demonstrates this. A brain infection left him with a memory span of only about 30 seconds. He couldn't form new long-term memories or recall his past. A huge part of his self-story was just gone. And yet, in each and every moment, he was fully conscious, fully present. It shows that the self isn't one unified thing. It's a collection of processes that can be deconstructed. So, we've journeyed from a simple dot on a screen to the very nature of the self. So what's the big takeaway here? Why does any of this matter in our daily lives? Well, it's a profound lesson in humility. If our perception of reality is a personal story our brain tells us, it means we should probably be a little less certain that our version is the only correct one. It's a powerful reason to question our own assumptions. This is also so crucial for empathy. This science helps explain our polarized world. It shows how two people with different brains and different life experiences can look at the exact same facts and construct two completely different realities. They're not lying, they're just seeing a different colored dress. And that leaves us with a final, and I think a really vital question. We may not share the same perceived reality, but we do share the same world. Knowing that every brain is its own unique storyteller, the great challenge becomes not proving our story is right, but learning how to listen to and understand the stories of others.